Hello everyone, welcome back to Grand Theft Auto 5. My name is jfavignano, and this is what we've been waiting for. Finally, a Boeing 737 in Grand Theft Auto 5. This is the 737-900 MAX series. It's got those new winglets on the end. Badass airplane. We've all wanted a 737. We finally have it, and we are going to fly it today. Not only are we just going to fly out of Los Santos and fly around and all that good stuff, I finally got the new Procopio International Airport to work. He updated it to a version 2.0. Link for all that will be in the description as well. And you can go check that out. It's a little finicky to get it to work. You just kind of dump those files into the main directory and you use the map editor and you load the air.xml file and bam, it works. Look at the detail on this 737. Pretty cool stuff. So we're gonna do a full flight to Paleto Bay, and we're going to advance time as we go along to make it a little bit more realistic. It'll be like an early morning departure out of Los Santos, and it'll be an afternoon, early morning arrival into Paleto Bay today. How about that? Expecting clear skies. Once we get there, we're gonna do a round robin trip. We'll turn around, we'll come back to Los Santos in the evening time, and we're expecting thunderstorms. So that's always fun to do. Always to shoot, approaches in thunderstorms. So without further ado, let's get in the 737-900 MAX by Skyline GTR Freak, and let's see what it's all about. Pop in here. Engines are firing up. Now, once we get to Paleto Bay, we will go ahead and show you the different liveries that come with this. So I'm choosing American Airlines for this one. You have full-on landing lights. You know, the full 9 yards. Now, the reason when you're inside view and you have the landing lights on, you get that horrible reflection on the windows. So I might be able to remove that. I haven't found a way yet, but we're fired up here. We're going to push back. We're going to take off on the runway 12 left. And we're going to do a departure that's going to make a left turn around the city and climb up over the Palomino Highlands up to cruise altitude. We'll make a right turn over the Zancudo Valley and shoot a visual approach in Sandy Shores. All right, we're all pushed back here a little bit further. That'll work just fine. Wonderful. So full service flight today. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you are too. Let's go ahead and turn our taxi light on and start rolling. Let's get the hell on out of here. Try to be on time today. Got a animated nose wheel steering. Pretty nice. To be expected with most of Skyline's models. There we go. Looks very, very cool. And let's pop here in the inside view. So we're going to be using for our departure. And there's the runway. Right off our nose here. We'll line up on there and we'll skedaddle out of Los Santos. How about it? Really excited to show you the new airport. It's been a long time coming. I mean, I know it's been around for a little while, but everybody was having problems getting it loaded, especially me. But I'm very happy that he updated it to where you don't have to have exact coordinates to load it in a certain spot. There we go, a little further up. One thing I did do in the map editor was turn up the level of detail to like 3,000, so it loads in all of the stuff. All right, lined up on my 12 left. We are clear for takeoff. Add power just ever so slightly. And there we go. Airspeed's alive. Add more power. Takeoff power is set. We are rolling. Coming up on our V speed here. Ease back on the... There we go. On the yoke. Gear up. Positive rate. And we are out of here. Look at that. Nice climb out of Los Santos. Off to our left-hand side there is downtown. There's a Dash 8 just above us to the left. We're going to keep an eye on him, make sure we don't run into him on our departure. We'll continue up this way. We'll climb above the clouds. We'll make a small turn to the north, and then we'll set up our approach into Paleto Bay today. How about that? Got another Dash 8 going to be crossing just underneath us here to the left. Let's make sure he does that okay. And this, I think this is the first time we've done a flight with Visual 5. So we have that atmosphere, and it looks pretty awesome. You can see right there. Look at that. Amazing stuff. Starting our turn here to the west, and we're going to get ready to set up for an approach into Paleto Bay today. I keep rhyming that, but I'm not trying, I promise you. Over sandy shores, we're going to be descending through all the clouds and all that stuff here. Right over the prison here, and we'll line up right about here. We're not going to start our descent yet. We're still at cruise altitude. This is looking pretty good. I can almost see Zancudo down there below the clouds today. And downtown Los Santos is under the clouds. They're off to our left as we continue our way towards the west. And now we'll just crack open a descent very slightly here, and we'll descend below the clouds. And here in a couple more hours, we'll be in Paleto Bay. Well, let's say not a couple more hours. We'll say about an hour or so. I'll advance time by another hour or so. All right, descending. Making sure we don't violate any of the airspace of Zancudo there on our right-hand side, so I'm being careful of that and mindful of it. Good view of the Pacific bluffs there off our nose. It kind of sucks whenever you can really tell how small the map is when you get up here in the air. That's for sure. So I try not to get too many shots of just like, you know, the all of San Andreas, because it is small from the air. On the ground, it's a different story, but, you know, what are you going to do? And it's a clear day. All right, I think we're pretty much clear of Zancudo there, so we can go a little further out, and we'll start a right turn to the east, kind of the southeast there, and we'll see what we got. Starting our turn here to the east, ever so slightly. Well, it's actually going to be more to the north, I suppose. It does kind of turn around up here a little bit more. We have eyebrow windows we can use, which is really nice for visual approaches. And, you know, we don't have a working altimeter here, but I can still use the minimap. I have the minimap turned on there, and each little line that you see there is showing you your altitude. So we're just going to go by that. It does work, surprisingly, pretty well. An approach is going to be between, it's going to be just above the second line, actually, for our approach today. Again, here's the eyebrow windows. And we're going to be landing right into the sun, so that'll make it a little more challenging. There we go. Line off about right here. We'll keep flying this way. We might have to make an adjustment a little to the left. And then we'll shoot our final approach here. Gear's not down yet. We're keeping speed. And now we just shallow out our approach here a little bit. It's a little longer trip than you think it is. That's for sure. But I'm really loving this 737 so far. It's really cool to have this model in GTA. It flies great. You can fly it pretty similar to some of the other jets. You just kind of don't have to hold the left trigger down at all on your approach. Like right now, we're just at idle. And then when you get closer to the threshold of the runway, you just add a little pressure on the left trigger. And that pulls power back just enough to get a nice landing out of it. You can kill the engines. If you kill the engines, you'll get a nice flare. But I try not to do that. So we want to fly almost to the tip of Paleto Bay and then make the right turn. Because if you cut the turn too early, you're going to be on a shallow approach to the runway. And we don't want to do that. All right, so now we can start descending down to the second line here. There we go. And yeah, Making sure the landing lights are on, and they are. You can tell by the light coming on in the cockpit. It is slaved together. Got visual in the runway. Gear down. And we'll start our turn to the runway. Lining up on the runway here. Still descending. Probably should have descended a little bit more. Like I said, I wanted to get down to that second line, but sometimes you can't get down that quick. And you kind of just want to come off the trees here. Still very new to this airport, so I'm still learning out how to properly approach it. But other than that, not too bad at all. Still idle power right now, just fighting the, you know, fake turbulence of GTA 5 here. Coming over the approach lights now for runway 3. And we'll start pulling the power back just a hair and flare. There we go. Oh, we ended up killing it. Rough landing. Wasn't the best. I'm not gonna beat myself up over it though. I don't know why that was so rough. I felt like I was hitting that fake turbulence there at the very end. It was kind of weird. We'll taxi down to the end here and turn off. But welcome to Paleto Bay. It's nice to have service here finally, after all this time. And it's actually a pretty unique airport whenever you see it. You know, it's made from some pieces of Zancudo and some pieces from Los Santos. But I do like it. It's pretty cool. The only downside is that it spawns in those 747s over there and they explode every time. That's not really cool, but what are you gonna do? Nothing you can do about that. Fantastic, and I think that we might be able to clear that just enough. We're about to find out if we're gonna clear that. Yeah, we'll clear it. Cool. There's just enough room to clear a 737 wing, so that's pretty neat. We'll taxi down here to the gate, no problems. Some people out there on the ramp. Look at that. That is so cool. Yeah, we'll make a left turn right here into this gate. That'll work fine. You know, the gates are not very realistic. Being on the right-hand side, it's kind of strange. But what do I know? Yep, turn in right there. Wonderful. A little bit further. And the landing wasn't the best, but hey, we'll redeem ourselves going back, hopefully. All right, fantastic. Welcome to Paleto Bay Airport. Pretty neat. It's so cool to have a new airport to fly to. Hope you're as excited about it as I am. I have my headless horseman going on here. So we'll advance some time for the evening flight out of here. Actually, big note, before we do that, I will show you what the plane can do. So we're going to kill the engines because they're loud for me. I'm going to turn them down in post, but they're loud for me. I'll open my menu here. Vehicle options. We'll go engine off. Fantastic. And now we can go, although it's not doing it. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate that. Engine, nope. Whoa, got a boat right over here. Yes, we do. All right, we have the doors and windows menu. We can open all of the vehicle doors and you can see what we have. We have the front door there. We've got 2 cargo doors on the side that open up. That's really cool. All right, we'll close all those vehicle doors. He sounds like he's like right underneath us, doesn't he? I think he actually spawned underneath us. The boat. But I don't know. What else we got? We have vehicle livery menu right here. And here's what we got. We got American Airlines, United Airlines, taking things to the max. Got Southwest Airlines, which does not operate the 900 or the Max series yet. I'm sure they will eventually, but they don't have one that, as far as I know. Alaska Airlines, got Boeing House Colors, Air Canada, and back to American. How about that? Pretty cool stuff. Let's do United on the way back. We'll do that. So I think that'll be awesome. So I'll advance some time. We'll get acquainted here, and we'll be preparing for our return trip to Los Santos. We're expecting storms, so that ought to be fun. Should be a little interesting. All right, ready for our return trip. It is much later in the day. It's almost evening time, and we're going to jump into the ETOPS United 737, and we are going to start the engines up manually. We have to, because I forgot to turn that back on. How about that? Leave engine running. Yeah, no, engine on, off, and on. There it is. There we go. And we will push back as soon as it's available. There we go. And we'll taxi down to the runway. We're going to be taking off the opposite way. A little slower on that. There we go. Just slow down the pushback a little bit there. That'll be perfect. This looks so cool. I love it. All right, and that power. Start taxiing out of here. We're going to take off on the opposite runway. And what I plan on doing is taking off, making a right turn, climbing back around Mount Gordo area and all that. And then we'll be shooting approach for runway 30 right. But it's supposed to be storming. We'll see how that fares as we get closer. There's an airport ramp worker out there on the ramp getting wet. I used to do that all the time. Used to do that all the time. Lining up on the runway here. Getting ready for our departure. There we go. And add some power here ever so slightly. Full power. There's our takeoff. Look at those waves today, man. V1, rotate. On up we go. Positive rate, gear up. As we fly out of Paleto Bay. It's so crazy to actually take off out of Paleto Bay. That's pretty neat. Pretty neat indeed. Rain is definitely picking up on our departure here. Continue to fly like this. We'll fly over the peninsula. Keep climbing. We'll start our turn to the right here very shortly. Since we have that big old mountain there to deal with. So using instruments. Flying with our instruments today. And it's only going to be worse as we get closer. We're expecting that to be the case. Still climbing out of Paleto Bay. That is the airport off to our right-hand side there. As we climb to our cruising altitude. The rain is relentless at these altitudes right now, but it should be cleared up once we get higher. And a little bit further before we make our turn to the south and start to set ourselves up for an approach into Los Santos. All right, we are at our cruise altitude here, flying over the Mount Gordo area. And we can't see a thing. And it's only going to get worse as we get closer to Los Santos. There's some storm cells moving through that area. So as we descend, we'll probably start picking those up. And yeah, should be a good time. All right, we're pretty much over the area where the submarine is down there. So we'll start our nose down right here and we'll start our descent into Los Santos. And we're expecting a pretty bumpy arrival, so it should be fun. All right, descending into Los Santos right now. We are getting hit by all the storms. Keeping an eye on our altitude and all that good stuff. Again, it's going to be much easier to shoot this approach today now using that. I don't know why I never thought to use that before. I haven't used that altimeter since, you know, the old console days on Grand Theft Auto 5. I completely forgot that you could do that. We got a nice hefty descent down here. Pretty much blind, you know, just flying by the instruments, looking where we are. Looking pretty good right now. Not bad at all. Wow, that was a close one. Did you see that? That lightning was like right off the right side of us. You can even hear it. That was awesome. That was, oh, we got a plane right there on its departure. Oh. Los Santos ARTC is definitely working hard getting airplanes out, and they're getting us pretty close by. Pretty close. Keep on descending. We want to get down to that 2 level there. All right, it's getting really crazy right now. Getting close to the runway, so I'm going to put my gear down. Make sure it's working. Not going to turn those landing lights on because they'll be crazy. And we can start our turn to the right here. Keep an eye on our altitude. Right around the 2nd bar is where I want to be. Keep turning here. To the right. Should be lining up on that runway soon enough. About right here is where we want to be. Keep it on that 2nd line. Looking good. I can see the... Whoa, hello. Okay. Got the airport pretty much off of our 1 o'clock now as we turn a little bit more. Keep an eye on that altitude. That is important. A little bit more to the side. There we go. We should pick up these approach lights soon enough. I've got them right there. There we go. A little bit more to the right. And that helps you. It, like, the 2nd bar, the 2nd black line is what you want for the most part. All right. Now we're just going to go easy on this landing here. I'm going to start adding that left trigger right now just a little bit because before it wasn't enough when we came into Paleto Bay. Pull a little bit further back and start to flare. It kills the engine anyway. We are down. Look at that. Not bad at all. Shut your mouth, people. Shut your mouth. Well, we made it. Look at that. Turn on that landing light so it looks good from the outside because it looks terrible from the inside. Make a turn here. That's a pretty decent approach. That wasn't bad. Could have been way worse. I love shooting these approaches in the rain, in the thunderstorms. It's awesome. Especially with that right there, that lightning. That looks so cool. So cool. All right. We're going to taxi in here. Boy, they really did good with that on Visual 5. That lightning is like almost bluish green when it strikes it like right near you. That's pretty neat. I like that. Little change up there. All right. Closer. Marshaller in sight. Let him know. And taxi on in here. Terrible storm here in Los Santos this evening. But we were able to make it happen. How about that? Come slow up here. Slow up. Perfect. Woof. And there we have it, guys. That is the Boeing 737-900 MAX series. Pretty awesome stuff. Yet another amazing model by Skyline. Good job, man. Well, that's going to do it for the episode, guys. I will see you in a future Grand Theft Auto 5 mod showcase. Take care.